Hello everyone. I'm really happy to be live on Twitch for the second AMA session with our Batch Genesis project. So today I'm with Anaïs.
Hi. Hi everyone.
So Anaïs will be our impact expert for this session, and we'll be here to ask a few questions we have inside the team, but also inside the community around the project of today. And with no further explanation, I will introduce them. So it's Jua. I'm really proud to have them today. It's a really interesting project with a huge environmental aspect and also a huge aspect in terms of research and development. So I will let them the floor and let them explain what they are doing and above all, why they are doing it. So Yvan, please, I let you the floor, and I will let also the floor to Sandra and Jean-Luc to introduce themselves.
Hi everyone, it's a great pleasure for us to be with you today, and we are very happy to be able to answer all your questions. We are we are deeply convinced by what we do, and to start the session, we want to say a few words about Jua, and more specifically about why we do things. We believe that at the end of the day, our DNA is what defines us. So Sandra, Jean-Luc, and myself met a few years ago because we share high concerns about the global warming growing challenges and the overall environmental situation, pollution being one of them. And we strongly believe that we need to bring real contribution on the table. The whole team at Jua is driven by this vision, and everything we do is assessed through the lenses of impact. And I mean by that, how we improve our impact every day, and how we improve our solutions, and how we manage also down any negative externality. Last but not least, we also strongly believe that to bring sustainable solutions on the table, we have to offer profitable solutions. And when we say profitable, we mean without any subsidy, which is fairly different from what we've seen for the past 50 years. Obviously, if subsidies can be obtained, then great. It will just improve the financial model, but the financial model of our solution work without those subsidies.
Okay, pretty clear. It was quite inspirational to start with that. Maybe I will let the floor to Anaïs for a first question. So yeah, just to precise, before starting with the question, the goal today is really to help you, so people from the community, to ask all the questions you have about Jua. So I will just let Anaïs introduce one or two questions about the what. So what Jua is doing, how they are doing it. And after that, we'll be there to answer all of your questions. So you can start right away to ask your question in the chat.
Yeah. Thanks, Yanis. Hello, Jua. I'm really glad to be here. So just to start the question, please ask any question in the chat if you have some. We'll be pleased to take them. But just to start, maybe in a few words, can one of you explain what's the story of your project, how it starts, and what's Jua now? What's Jua now? Yeah.
I can see a few words on it about how it started. We have been dealing with environmental matters for more than 20 years. Before that was a big concern for everybody, and solid waste has been an issue that we have been tackling for years, and we are happy that we are now in a position to give solution to the public and to businesses. And this is really what motivates us, let's say, having those solutions patented, with a big R&D component in it, and so make things possible, affordable, and with the result of addressing the question of how do we treat organic waste, which is really a very difficult one to tackle because it has a high potential for pollution. So this is really how we focalize on this problem, and we put all the means to bring solution to everybody, to all levels, all countries, and every type of organic waste generators, which is everybody.
Okay.
Well, to go through this, maybe the question was about the story, our story. Let's say that at the beginning, I was really involved with biomimicry. And what we have seen, as said Sandra and Yvan, is two things. On one hand, a bad picture with the world, a lot of waste, and a lot of bad treatment processes. On the other hand, what we have seen also is that nature can do things perfectly with sometimes a lot of complexity. What we did then, and that's the story, is to put nature into the boxes. And that means science and technology, and a lot of work, a lot of research, a lot of engineering too, because a bioreactor is not an ecosystem very simple, but require a lot of techno to be effective and potentially efficient with pragmatic issues we have to front. That's the story. From my point of view, this is the way we did, and we still go on like that.
Okay, thanks for this answer. And like Microtanku just said, nature is way better than us, and it's great to inspire from this with the engineering part to build solution for world. So thanks for this answer.
Yeah, I have just one question on my side, maybe, because I know a little bit more about your solution because we've been talking for a few weeks now. And I think it's really interesting if you can explain like really quickly how a bionetralizer work concretely. Like we speak about valuing the organic waste, and I think it can be a good start to be sure that everyone understands this part.
Yeah, okay. To be very clear and simple, a bioreactor is a box where you breed bacterial strains. And those bacterial strains are specific to a stage of a process which is complex. What we do is to give to the bacterial strain all what they need to work perfectly 20 hours per day on every day of the year. We have to manage what come into and what can be taken from the bioreactor. That's engineering, but biology is inside. We have to feed, we have to warm, we have to pulse inside. So that's a very simple thing when you see it from this point of view, breeding bacterials to make a job human cannot do easily.
Okay, clear. I will start with a question from the community. I think we'll stay with the feeding part of the process with the first question from Drake. So Drake is quite curious, I think, about the minimal level you need to make the solution work, and if you produce, can your produce be small enough to work even for small individual houses and half autonomous communities to produce like biofertilizer for them and biogas for the kitchen? Could it be like a fully closed ecosystem?
The point is to be okay with this principle, small is beautiful. We already are small, and I hope beautiful too. I don't speak about me, but our bioreactors, they are very small in the sense that they begin to treat today from, let's say, 300 kgs per day, and they can, like Legos, be assembled to reach up to 20 tons per day. But effectively, we have the deal to get smaller bioreactors, both for the anaerobic digester and the composter. For the composter, it's already done. We already have a model, which is a microcomposter, which can work in a kitchen for a small family. And we will do the thing also with the anaerobic digester, but later on, because it requires a lot of applications related to pumping, mixing, shredding. So it's not done. It will. And today, we are still on the way to produce something which will cater with all the needs of the population. But at the moment, we are on the big market of the small size to the medium size, which is not at all something where there is a real offer in the world.
Okay. Yeah, so it answers also to partly to the second question from Drake. But if you want to add something on this part, to know if it's possible, so maybe not today, but in the nearby future, to have like only a minimum, if you need a minimum amount of organic waste to deposit in the container to keep it running.
Yeah, as just said, it's from 300 kgs, let's say 250 kgs, for the very highly volatile waste to 500 kgs. That's the minimum dose which can make the digester running properly.
And just to be precise, because maybe that's the question, that's the daily requirement. So every day you put into the box a minimum of 300, 500 kilograms of waste.
Okay.
And that's for the biodigester, because in the composter we add also green waste, which you can so you can really cover the whole organic component of waste.
Okay.
On the microcomposter works the smallest thing we have today working as prototypes under design optimization works at 5 kg per day, less, maybe 2 kgs per day. It can work too with kitchen waste.
Great to know.
It's pretty small, yeah.
Yeah, it's a small one.
Yeah.
Family size.
Yeah, great. So it can work, and the waste isn't what is missing on Earth. So I think that you will find the amount. Yeah, great. Thanks for this answer. I have thanks for your question in the chat. We'll answer them just after, but just before then, I would like to raise a question that Irox asked on Discord. That is quite interesting. So, according to us, it seems that the methanization process also produces CO2. What happens to your devices? Do you have some arguments on this? That's true. Methane and methanization could, in a way, produce CO2. So, how do you manage this, and how are you dealing with this? Yeah.
Well, that's true to say that CO2 coming from the methanizer is greenhouse gas, but it's a neutral one because it comes from green things. It's living things, so it's neutral. And it's also neutral because we are producing biofertilizer, which enhance biologically all carbon storage in the soil and in the biomass you can crop. But above all, what we have done is to sequestrate the CO2 with a carbonation process that enables to transform the CO2 in a very simple thing, which is calcium carbonate, which is a mineral. So this is full sequestration. So not only we do not release bio CO2 in the air, but we sequestrate this CO2 fully on the form of calcium carbonate with a very basic chemical process, but quite efficient. We have made it quite efficient, and it works very well.
Okay, so very interesting. And if I can add something on this, we worked a lot on Jua with the impact team. It's true then that if you are replacing things that today emits a lot, the production of the extraction and the production of methane, by something that emits less, you are carbon positive, if I can say that this. And above all, you are mitigating this CO2 emission by what Jean-Luc just said. So it's great. Thanks for this answer.
No, I was saying like I'm not a scientist, so I'm always kind of impressed by this kind of solutions and how you can deal with like with capturing gases. So yeah, thank you for this answer, Jean-Luc. Yeah, maybe we can go on another topic. So we have an interesting question from Jagelves, maybe more about your competitors in this field. So the second part of the question, I will precise it now. It's about the Web3 and tokenization part. And as it was discussed during the different AMA before the Batch Genesis release, the tokenization part with the project will occur after the voting phase. So most of these questions are still work in progress with the team. We have several ideas, several areas of development. We discussed it notably with Yvan. But for the moment, we'll definitely concentrate on the solution of Jua, its market, and not on the tokenization part. So I think the first part of the question is quite interesting. Who are the main competitors in your space and how you are different? What's your unfair advantage in a way?
Yeah.
Sandra?
Yeah, our differentiating point is really having decided to have that integrated approach, having the biodigestion and the composting, so that we can really have a zero waste approach. So what goes out of we are putting waste in the biodigester, and we are having some residue that we are treating in the composter, and we only have biofertilizers coming out. So all inputs are valorized. So this is really what we wanted to achieve, and I think this is the main thing that makes us different from the competitors who are either sells biodigesters or sell composters. So I think
I add one point, Sandra, which is not under signification for us, which is that we have decided to propose solution on site. The large majority of all our competitors, they need to regroup waste to make the thing working. It's not at all the deal we had at the beginning. We can put a small station with a very low footprint close to the waste production site, on the waste production site. And this is one of the main difference with, let's say, 80%, maybe 80, 90% of our competitors who need to regroup waste, so to transport waste. We don't do that. That's a big point too.
Yeah, this is the model, the capitalistic model of doing big to cut costs and to scale. it is not our approach. We want the people to, the businesses for time being, to be responsible of their waste, to be able to produce their own energy, their own fertilizers, to be autonomous, and for times like COVID, where we've seen that we have to rely on external supplies, they can be autonomous partially on energy. And this is important for us because we have competitors who may be connected, who may be able to get energy, but we have also clients who may be in remote areas and they can have then their own produce their own energy, have their own compost, and not needing water to make their station operate. So these are aspects that are important for us.
And just going back on the cost side, we are still cheaper than the competition because we have invested a lot of technology and science upfront with patents. And again, most of our competition doesn't have any patent.
Okay.
And that allows us to be cheaper and more efficient than the competition.
Okay, so in your market, no one had thought about having mobile stations, and no one had thought about developing a patent around this technology. It's kind of impressive.
Well, patent definitely not, and the combination of biodigestion plus composting, that's definitely a key point for us in terms of differentiation and economic model. So typically, when you speak to the traditional players in the field, they all say that methanization only doesn't work. So they need subsidies to be able to work, and that's the addition of the two that the biodigestion, methanization, and the composting solution that make the whole solution economically viable.
Okay.
On top of being environmentally responsible, which is for us key, as well as the economic model, like we said in the introduction.
Okay. And just microtanku is want to detail a bit cheaper, but is it profitable yet? I hope yes, for your company to survive. In two words, you like to answer?
Maybe not yet, but I think the broader question is about the
cheaper,
business
but
and development.
Is it profitable yet? Okay. Yvan, that's why you profit.
Because you just said that the solution was cheaper than any solution on the market. So I could just want to clarify the fact that you are still a company, a profitable company, or company for profit in your vision, and not just a solution provided like gifts for, I don't know, cities, etc.
Yeah, Yvan, if you want to answer it.
Yvan, if you want to answer it, 2 words. Is your business for profit?
I can do that if there is.
I think that the notion of cheaper is related to the efficiency of our solution. So it's proportional to the waste we treat and what comes out of it. The fact that we valorize all the outputs make it cheaper because there's a return on investment, which is very interesting.
Okay, great. So just thanks, Michelangelo and Jack Alves, for your question about Web3 and tokenization. We know everyone loves this question about how blockchain and impact can be linked, and impact can be valorized by blockchain. The thing that you, even in the community, can imagine the solution blockchain can provide to those impact. Every impact project we are meeting each day. So please don't hesitate to propose any idea. But I think that clearly on-site solution where data is thus measurable on-site, directly linked to the emitter of waste, can clearly have a strong use case on blockchain about certification and traceability, for instance. And I let you imagine what you want then and propose it. You can put this on the, if you have an idea in the days, in the chat of Jua, on Discord, etc. That was just to place this question on tokenization. I have another question on my side. Just before answering the next one on the chat, but we never talked about the vision of Jua in the future. Can you just detail where is Jua now in its development, and what are the next project, next milestones you are aiming to achieve? Yeah, what's your, I can say, roadmap? Is someone
Question for you? Are you?
Yeah,
Yes.
sorry, I had connection issues. So roadmap, sorry for that. And development in general. So we look at development from two aspects. One is geo expansion. So as we've said before, our solution makes sense for any organic waste in any country of the world. So we will be looking at geo expansion. We have already qualified prospect portfolio in the Indian Ocean and Africa. We are also developing a qualified prospect portfolio in France, and we will expand geographically all around the world in the months and the years to come. So that's one side of development and expansion, and the other side is to further invest on R&D and keep developing and coming up with new products. Addressing the issue of waste treatment and valorization. So it could be plastic, it could be paper, for example. We are also looking at a solution of coalgae to produce energy and Caton food también, also, sorry. And then we're about to file a 6th patent on a biofertilizer injection solution. So two main focus on the development, geo expansion and product development.
Okay, great. Thanks for this, Sandra.
Quite clear. So let's get back to a few questions from the chat, because
that just arrived.
Yeah, that just arrived, and we have another one. I think we'll stay maybe with all the question about how the solution work. So I was pretty sure we'll have some question about it, because due to the huge aspect of research and development of your solution,
engineering power.
Yeah, most of the people are kind of interested to know more about it. And we have a question from Microtanku about how do you control every composter to be sure like good bacteria stay on the long run, don't develop themselves, ones that will corrupt the entire compost?
Good question.
Well, that's quite simple. In fact, bacterials have to be, let's say, conform to a specific niche within one ecosystem, and these parameters are related to temperature, hygrometry, moisture, and also nutrients. So what we do, we control all those parameters in real time with sensors and automation with algorithm we have developed, essentially with experience and science too, but at least experience, because it's a lot of work on the several years of knowledge to acquire. But the boxes we have designed are intelligent boxes. It's not only walls. You have in a composter several tools inside that enable, let's say, a gravity progress, decompaction, aeration, moisture conservation, and all that enables the good bacterial to stay. As an example, we have 3 phases in the silo, in the CompSil composter, which is a 2-stack container silo. On the thermophilic area can reach up to 80 degrees. But at this temperature, you will kill a lot of good bacterials. That's why we have installed on the walls, double walls of the silo, something which take away the upper temperature, the upper gradient, which is lethal for some good bacterials. That's an example. And everything is about that. And a lot of our devices are patented, such as the fact that we can feed the composter by the high on the whole area of the top, which is like a tree which will let his old leaves falling on the ground and then accumulate it. That's exactly the same principle. Biomimicry is there to help us, to inspire us to find the good device, the good process, to make the good bacteria to be at the good stage of the process.
Okay.
I'm kind of laughing because I'm also reading like the comments from Microtanku. I will put it on the screen in the chat. So I'm kind of guessing the kind of profile you have, Microtanku, because it's like, so we could get an application that gives us the health of the composter. So I think we have someone with a huge interest in Web3, but also in your solution. So if you have ideas, Microtanku, don't hesitate to reach the Jua team in their Discord to tell them about it. I will continue with another question, a kind of interesting one, and kind of interesting on the decentralized aspect maybe of your solution.
Yeah, but don't worry, not organization in Web3. Yeah,
decentralized.
Thanks with we.
From Adwi, saying like, are you aiming to develop an ecosystem synergies between researchers, your customers, for instance, those commercial centers you were talking about, and individuals? And if yes, how?
That's a technical point, in fact. All our stations are piloted by automats, which are remotely connected to a central. And everything which happened with the anaerobic digester or with the composter will be monitored online by us. We are working with the customers, but also with scientists when there's a question we have to address, which is quite specific. And this is a permanent progressive work to go on with research and development to optimize. Let's say that when we are contracting with clients, we offer a guarantee of 10 years. And this guarantee also encompasses the fact that if there is an upgrade, they will get it. Yes, there is a permanent observation of what happened with this one, or I don't know where. And each time it's a different type of waste. It will be like big data. We have to analyze in a stochastic way to give more performance to our automation. Yeah.
I think if I can add, I think if I understand the question about the synergies, if we can give an example, we're building a demonstrator in a commercial center, and we really want the customers, as you say, the customers, not our customers, but the customers of the commercial center, the users, the public, to be able to visit what we do so that they understand what their waste, how is it transformed and it becomes something valuable. So this is interesting, important for us, because for people to participate in the separation of their waste, and to be motivated to do it, they need to see what is the result, why they do it. And this is important for us, and we stress on that, on this type of project or others, but this one is a very, it talks to everybody.
Okay, it's great to manage to talk to everybody with a so technical solution. As an engineer, I know that some solution we are selling to businesses aren't understandable by everyone. So glad to have a project, have a technical solution that can show to everyone. So congrats for this. Just a question about can you show it?
Yeah, it's Kia.
It's Kia official. It's key official. Sorry. What are your composters made from, and is it cheap to make? So I think that it is talking about the cost of production, how you produce your composters. Can someone answer?
Okay.
A secret.
No, it's not a secret.
Not all the technical
Let's
aspects.
say that we had to deal with mechanical issues and with material issues, temperature, corrosion, and biological attacks. So we have to define a lot of specifications. Today, what we deal with is a metallic structure made with cotton steel and like a cage, a skeleton. And everything about the walls is made in plastics. Not all plastic, but let's say something about polypropylene, which is the best way for us to avoid a lot of greenhouse gases at the beginning, in not taking in the box too much metallic parts. So it's not really cheap, but it's cheaper than with stainless steel, which is what everybody could think to do as a best solution. It's not at all the best solution. Plastics can be recycled very easily, and their cost in terms of carbon CO2 is quite lower than steel and all metals. So we are working a lot with plastics. It's a good deal for us and for the environment too. We take care. We are very concerned by the fact that the station cannot be on an heavy side of carbon footprint at the production stage. So that was also a kind of engineering we had to develop to find the best materials to make it sustainable more than 20 years. We are not in the obsolescence, but in the sustainability. And that's the deal.
Okay.
I think we have another question in this field. It's pretty interesting to talk about the infrastructure of the station. I know that there was some question about it, notably in the Discord. And we have a last one. Oh, sorry, it's not the good one. Oh, that's the good one from Drake. And it's maybe also about the lifespan of the station and about how you can maybe use this station in a degraded mode to be used maybe manually if the batteries or sensors dies, so that all the content isn't lost entirely.
As said, we have this maintenance, preventive maintenance program, which prevent all type of accident like that. We know exactly when a sensor or a valve or I don't know what, an hydraulic motor will fail. So we will change it before the expected date of risk. That's a very important point because the question is very interesting. This station shall work every day during 10 years and every night too. It cannot fall down. when you have to produce waste, you cannot store it. It's a fresh product. And if you have to store it outside, it's a lot of nuisances. So we have decided to accompany the sales with the guarantee, which is the best way to prevent this type of problem.
Okay. And just to add on this one, the idea is also, whenever possible, to refurb the components we are changing. So again, sustainability rather than obsolescence.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, it was also a question from Jag Elves. So I think it was a good answer who asked, is there any maintenance planned into your deal? So
for the lifetime.
Yeah, you've just answered it.
Okay.
Maybe I will give the mic to
I have
Anaïs.
one last question to project yourself in the future and know what is your long-term vision about Jua. How do you imagine Jua in, I don't know, 10 or 20 years? What do you aim to achieve in long-term vision if you have all the capacity of the world and all the ideas you want to make? How can you imagine Jua in 20 years? Yeah. 20, 30 if you're
Well, I think, well, so 30 years might be a bit too much for us, but let's keep it to long term versus short and medium term. But I think we partly answer the question going back to our development model. So one is geo expansion. So within the next few years, we want to operate in every single country in the world.
Okay.
And then on top of that, we are still developing new products, and we want to add those products to the offer. The idea is to create an ecosystem of products that work together.
Okay.
So one side, geo expansion, we want to be operating in every single country and add more products to the portfolio.
Okay. Okay. So let's dream about something big, something huge. If in your dreams, Jua in like 10 years is on every single country in the world, reusing waste for the goods, and with several range of products from methanization to the treatment of waste. Okay, that's
exactly.
Okay, perfect.
That's pretty impressive. And maybe before leaving the floor to the French session, just could you tell us more maybe about one project you have in the pipeline with a few details on it? I think it will be maybe interesting to talk about a concrete use case and to see the whole cycle you are enabling with Jua, from the organic waste to the two products you are developing.
Taking an example.
Yes, I think one of our projects in the pipe, which is under negotiation and which will very soon become a reality, is about treating waste from kitchen waste from hotel, from a group of hotels on the same site, with a direct return of the gas, the biomethane, which is a bio-natural gas, in the boilers of the hotel to produce hot water for showers and everything, but also directly with the group, which is the owner of the hospitality center, to produce vegetables on 20 hectares each year, in order to not only procure these fresh and bio vegetables to the hotels, but also to the local communities around. Short cycle for everything, very deep integration, and yes, I think this is a very beautiful project with a group, a big company, which has a real will of sustainable development. Yeah, that's a big and beautiful project for us. Not very big, but beautiful.
Okay.
And just to add one point to what Jean-Luc just said, if we go back to our 3 economic pillars, so this specific customer will save on the cost of waste treatment.
Yeah.
This customer, because he will be using the biomethane from the biodigester, will save on fossil fuel energy. And for the agricultural part, he will be using the biofertilizer produced by the composting station.
So you have the ecosystem.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oui, quelle question isn't there? Okay.
Yeah, no, that's pretty cool. Maybe just a last one before closing, because I think it will be quick. Micro Tanko, so I think it's a huge fan here. Wants to know.
Dive the website, I think.
Yeah, I think he's on the website at the moment, and he has a question about pilot station for Inodis, and maybe to know if it's still in function.
Sandra?
Yeah. It was, as its name says, it was a pilot. So we've done it for quite some time because we wanted to test different. It was our first pilot. We wanted to test a lot of parameters. So it's not working anymore, but it has proven the research. We have done the proof of concept on the station itself, on the hardcore, and the technology, and on the process and the yield in biogas and in compost. So no, she's not working, but we have proven that we can treat. So Inodis was for waste from how do you call that again?
Chicken slaughterhouse.
Chicken slaughterhouse. So that was, I won't go into the details of what type of waste it was, but you can imagine all the leftovers of what you don't use in chicken, blood and feathers. So this was a very difficult waste to treat, and we have tested all the, especially those difficulties. Maybe if Jean-Luc want to add about the AVC and the rest, but we've proven that it works, and so it's not working anymore.
And then, so to complement on the question, the next station operational will be live in July this year. We've produced the station, and we are about to start the commissioning on site.
Okay, great. Okay, great. Yes, okay.
Okay, super cool. So I think, yeah, we have pretty a lot of questions for this English session. So thanks everyone for your question in the chat. Special thanks to the Jua team, so Sandra, Yvan, and Jean-Luc, for all your answers. I think you've been pretty convincing for the community. Yeah. I see some congrats in the chat. It was really a pleasure to have you here for the English session. For French audience, we'll continue the live, so we'll do a short break, maybe a 5-minute break, and then we'll come back for a quick French session. So just to explain again the pitch in French, and having in a more informal way a few other questions that you may have not been able to ask during this chat. So thank you everyone. Also thank you Anaïs for your time and your questions, and see you on the French sessions.